Hello, welcome to Australian Citizenship class on YouTube. Episode 26. Today's episode is taken from Part 3 of Australian Citizenship, Our Common Bond. We are going to have a look at How is Australia governed on pages 27 and 28. How is Australia governed? The Australian government. The Australian government is also called the federal government or the Commonwealth government. The government is made up of members of the Australian Parliament, which has two houses: the House of Representatives and the Senate. In a federal election, Australian citizens vote to elect representatives to each House of Parliament. The House of Representatives is one of the houses in the Australian Parliament. Other names for the House of Representatives are the Lower House or the People's House. Australia is divided into federal electorates. Members of Parliament, or MPs, represent the people in their electorate, or area. The number of MPs for each state and territory is based on the number of people in that state or territory. Overall, there are over 150 members elected to the House of Representatives. Members of Parliament and senators debate proposals for new laws in the Australian Parliament. The role of the House of Representatives is to consider, which means to think carefully about something. Debate, which means to present and listen to arguments about something. And vote on proposals, which are new ideas or suggestions for new laws or changes to the laws. And discuss matters of national importance. The Senate is the other house in the Australian Parliament. It's the next level of government after the House of Representatives. The Senate is sometimes called the Upper House, the House of Review, or the States House. Proposals for new laws, which are called bills, are first presented in the House of Representatives. If the bill is passed in the House of Representatives, it then goes on to the Senate to be double-checked, debated, and voted on again. Voters from each state also elect senators to represent them in the Senate. All states are equally represented in the Senate, regardless of their size or population. This contrasts with the House of Representatives, where the number of MPs is based on the number of people in that state or territory. There is a total of 76 senators. Each state elects 12 senators, and the Australian Capital Territory and Northern Territory elect 2 senators each. Senators also consider, debate, and vote on new laws or changes to the laws, and discuss matters of national importance. Let's say the key words together. The Australian Government. The House of Representatives, 150 Members of Parliament, MPs. The Senate, 76 senators. People vote for federal representatives. Consider, debate, and vote on new laws or changes to the laws. There are 6 states and 2 mainland territories in Australia. Each state government has its own parliament and constitution. Remember, a constitution is a book of rules, so a state constitution is a book of laws particular to that state. State and territory governments are based in their capital cities. The leader of a state government is the premier. And the leader of a territory government is the chief minister. State governments operate in a similar way to the Australian government. In each state, a governor represents the King of Australia. In the Northern Territory, an administrator is appointed by the Governor-General. The role and responsibilities of the administrator are similar to those of a state governor. States have rights recognized by the Constitution, while territories do not. States have the power to pass laws in their own right, while self-governing territory laws can be altered or revoked by the Australian government at any time. In state and territory elections, Australian citizens vote to elect a representative for their area. These representatives become members of the relevant state or territory parliament. The states and the Northern Territory are divided into local government areas, which may be called cities, shires, towns, or municipalities. Each area has its own local council. Councils are responsible for planning and delivering services to their local community. Citizens in each local government area vote to elect their local councillors. Let's say the key words together. State constitution and parliament. States have rights recognized by the Constitution. Territories do not. People vote for state representatives. Local government, cities, shires, towns, or municipalities. Local council. Let's have a look at a practice test question. The Australian government is also called A. The Upper House, the House of Review, or the States House. B. The Federal Government or the Commonwealth Government. C. The Lower House or the People's House. We know that the Senate is sometimes called the Upper House, the House of Review, or the States House, so A is not the correct answer. We know that other names for the House of Representatives are the lower house or the People's House. So C is not the correct answer. The Australian government is also called the federal government or the Commonwealth government. So B is the answer to this question. Practice test question 2. The government is made up of members of the Australian Parliament, which has 2 houses. A, the House of Representatives and the Senate. B, the lower house and the upper house. C, both answers A and B are correct. We have to be careful with this question. At first glance, A, the House of Representatives and the Senate, seems to be the correct answer. But we have to remember to carefully read each part of the question. B, the lower house and the upper house, is also correct. The lower house is another name for the House of Representatives, and the upper house is another name for the Senate. So the best answer to this question is C. Both answers A and B are correct. Practice test question number 3. In the House of Representatives, the number of MPs for each state and territory, A, is equal, B, is based on the number of people in that state or territory, C, is 2 for each state. Let's look at this map of the different electorates across Australia. Each electorate, also known as electoral divisions or seats, has 1 member of Parliament in the House of Representatives. We can see that some electorates cover a very large area, such as Durack in Western Australia, Lingiari in the Northern Territory, or Grey in South Australia. Not many people live in these areas, so it takes a lot of land to reach the population needed to form an electorate. Other electorates, such as those found in and around Australia's capital cities, are very small. The population is high in these areas. There are enough people in a small area to form an electorate. So we know that A, in the House of Representatives, the number of MPs for each state and territory is equal, can't be correct. There are more electorates in areas with high population density, such as urban Victoria and New South Wales, and fewer electorates in rural areas where there aren't as many people. C, 2 for each state, can't be correct either if electorates are formed based on population density. We know that for the Senate, each state elects 12 senators, and the Australian Capital Territory and Northern Territory elect 2 senators each. That must be where the number 2 came from. So, knowing that in the House of Representatives, there is 1 member of Parliament for each electoral area, which is formed based on the size of the population of the area, the answer to this question must be B. In the House of Representatives, the number of MPs for each state and territory is based on the number of people in that state or territory. Practice test question 4. What is the difference between a state and a territory? A. States are divided into local government areas called cities, shires, towns, or municipalities, while territories are not. B. States have members of parliament, MPs, while territories do not. C. States have rights recognized by the Constitution, while territories do not. We know that both states and the Northern Territory are divided into local government areas, which may be called cities, shires, towns, or municipalities. So answer A is not correct. We know that MPs in the House of Representatives serve in both states and territories. So answer B is not correct either. On page 28 in Our Common Bond, we see that states have rights recognized by the Constitution, while territories do not. So answer C is correct. The difference between a state and a territory is that states have rights recognized by the Constitution, while territories do not. Practice test question 5. Councils are responsible for A. Planning and delivering services to their local community. B. Representing the King of Australia. C. Considering, debating, and voting on proposals for new laws. We know that B, councils are responsible for representing the King of Australia, is not correct. The Governor-General represents the King of Australia at the federal level, whilst governors represent the King of Australia at the state level. We know that C, councils are responsible for considering, debating, and voting on proposals for new laws, is not correct. Members of Parliament and senators debate proposals for new laws in the Australian Parliament, that is, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Answer A. Councils are responsible for planning and delivering services to their local community, is correct. We'll learn more about what local, as well as state, and the federal government do in the next episode. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments section. I'll do my best to help in any way I can. If you found this video helpful, please click on like and subscribe to help me grow this channel. This will also help you see when new episodes are ready to watch. See you in the next episode.